Hello and welcome back to the Cricket Nerds. Today we are previewing IPL 2024 and today we are bringing you the almighty, the winners ultimately, Chennai Super Kings, CSK, Dhoni's dad's army. It feels great to be back talking about the IPL. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it. CSK, what are their strengths? Zach.
If you didn't realize, Benji does support Chennai Super Kings, so that's why. But no, honestly, they do look very strong this year. I mean, picking up Charlotte Kerr in the auction was a genius move because it allows them to bat very deep. They've got good overseas middle top order options in Daryl Mitchell, Rachin Ravindra. They've got good seam bowling cover in the Fizz, and they've got really good uncapped potential in Samir Rizvi. So they've got some really strong strengths throughout the whole of their squad. And you just look at that engine room in Shivam Dube, Ravindra Jadeja, and MS Dhoni, and you think it looks really strong. And they haven't just relied on experience. They've still got some old boys in there for sure. But they are relying on some strong young options as well. James, what are your strengths for CSK? Or have I mentioned all of them?
Yeah, I mean, the first one is always experience. And you mentioned them batting deep, and I can completely agree with that. I've got them, yeah, batting down to 10 in my supposed 12, or it's a 12 because of the impact player, but I want to say 11 just because otherwise it sounds weird. But yeah, they've got some exciting all-rounders. They've made some decent signings. Potentially a little bit of recency bias in some of the signings they've done, but who can't say they've had a bit of recency bias? I think it's pretty much a case with every single team.
Yeah.
The recency bias I'm talking about is Rachin Ravindra, because the auction happened very soon after the World Cup, which is obviously a 50 over World Cup. Ravindra did very well in that, but I see him more as a long form player. I see him as a good test match batter and 50 over player. I don't know how well he's going to do in 20 over in the IPL, but that remains to be seen. Yeah, lots of exciting things. Benj, I'm going to ask you a tough question because obviously you've got a very kind of rose tinted glasses when it comes to Chennai. But what would you say are their weaknesses?
I think with Chennai, what they haven't got is like a world beater of an all rounder. Like they have world class players in their not an all rounder as a overseas. Like they've got world class overseas players in Moeen Ali, Darryl Mitchell, Mitch Santner, very New Zealand heavy, but they haven't got one player out of that where you would say they're one of the best players in the world at their job. Like if you were to talk about bowling quick, you'd talk about the Mitchell Starks of the world. Actually, if you look at this Chennai side, they're all decent players and good players. I mean, Moeen Ali is an awesome player, but again, a world class player. But would you say he's the best um, bowling all rounder in the world? Probably not. So I think that's probably where they fall down ever so slightly. But having said that, you can do a really balanced side from CSK, and they also will always benefit with the experience of Dhoni and his captaincy too, because you can't you can't really underestimate just how good that is, and how many runs that saves in the field, how many wickets that takes through bowling changes. It adds such value to that side. So no, I would say that's probably their main weakness, but you can offset it with all these different positives.
Yeah. For me, it depends on how, like, what sort of pitch they get. Because on a flat pitch, that Chennai batting lineup could outbat any other team in the competition. They've got a really strong batting lineup. I mean, Rachin Ravindra, I know you mentioned James in being more of that long form sort of player, but he recently, like his last 2020 match against Australia, coming out on a flat pitch, he was striking at nearly 200, and
Yeah.
looked really impressive. However, I don't know if their bowling lineup is quite set up, as in their seam bowling lineup quite set up for a flat pitch. I mean, you look at some of their spin options in Theekshan and Ravi Jadeja, they probably want more of a spinner friendly sort of wicket. But they've got that experience to kind of adapt to conditions. Dhoni's so experienced in that captaincy role. Their backroom staff are very experienced as well. So for me, that the weaknesses are offset by that experience for sure.
You know what? On
What do we
that,
think?
you raised a
Yeah.
really good point about being good on flat pitches, because what that allows you is them to bat long and go through the gears. And when I look at that CSK team, obviously Devon Conway, he's had to withdraw now, but he fits into this mold as well. But Ruturaj Gaikwad, Rachin Ravindra, Daryl Mitchell, Ravi Jadeja, they're all players that they shift through the gears. They don't tend to start off with 16 off 6 and then just carry on going about 200. They will start off at a runner ball 15, and then they'll start shifting through the gears. And that was exactly what we saw from that Rachin Ravindra knock against Australia, and it's what you see from CSK. So I think if they can stay in and build partnerships, they can take the game away from pretty much any bowling lineup.
Yeah,
but they don't have the cameos necessarily.
I don't think you'll have cameos, but they do have players that can go from ball one though. Like Jadeja has shown that he can. Dubé can. Dhoni can. Like the abilities there, whether they choose to or not, is a different story. Like it's another classic CSK team where they have built a team to win at home. Like that's what they tend to do. I think their bowling's really good this year
as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is a good tactic.
Well, because if you play at home, you play half your games at home. If you win half your games, generally you're going to get into the playoffs. So, yeah, great tactic. I think as well, as you say, their bowling attack looks a lot stronger this year with the re-signing of Shardul Thakur. I think that's been a really good signing for them. And they're in first place right now anyway. So there we go.
Yeah, that is true. The starters you mean to go on. So in terms of their 11 or 12, then I've gone with Ruturaj Gaikwad and Rachin Ravindra opening. I think with Devon Conway moving, not playing, Ravindra can play as that opening role. We've seen it before. I've got Ajinkya Rahane at 3, Daryl Mitchell at 4, Shivam Dubé 5, Jadeja 6, Dhoni 7, Thakur 8, Chahar 9. And then I've got, and this is probably where we'll probably differ more, I've gone for Theekshana 10 and Pathirana 11. And then Tushar Deshpande as my 12th super sub.
I've gone a bit differently.
Yeah.
I've actually got Ajinkya Rahane as my 12 because I feel like he'll be the impact player that's going to come in. Him and Tushar Deshpande be the ones that sub. So I've got a bowling first, where I've got Gaikwad and Ravindra. That's the same as you. Moeen Ali at 3, Daryl Mitchell at 4, Shivam Dubé at 5, Jadeja 6, Dhoni 7, Thakur and Chahar at 8 and 9, then Deshpande and Theekshana. So I think that'll be that's their bowling first, and then Rahane is going to be there to bolster that batting as well.
Okay.
James?
Okay. Yeah, again, something slightly different. I've gone for I've lost it now. Sorry. There we go. Gaikwad, and yeah, I'm opening with Rachin Ravindra. I think he's pretty much like for like with Devon Conway. I had Moeen Ali at 3, Daryl Mitchell 4, Shivam Dubé 5, Samir Rizvi 6, Jadeja 7, Dhoni 8, Shardul Thakur 9, Deepak Chahar 10, and Theekshana 11. And then the number 12 I had as Hangagekar. However, I could definitely be convinced to drop Moeen Ali, have Ajinkya Rahane at 3, and then have Mitchell Santner in at a bit lower down the order. Just lengthens that batting lineup, and he's a very handy left arm spinner. The only reason I didn't was because you've already got Jadeja in there, and he kind of fulfills that job. But at home, having Jadeja, Theekshana, and Mitchell Santner, as well as Rachin Ravindra, that could be the kind of thing that I could just see it tearing through Punjab, who notoriously have been quite bad against spin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a strong looking squad. Interested to know, where do you guys think they're going to finish?
I'm going to go last out of all of us.
All right.
Oh,
I think we know where you're
Benji reckons they're going
No,
last.
I haven't put them in last place. I'm going third out of all of us.
Okay, but right.
Benji's
Zach,
going third. I think Chennai Super Kings are going to finish second. That's where I've
Yes.
got them. I think
So
they've got
do
a very
I.
strong squad. I think I thought you were going third.
No, no, no. I said I was going third after all of us. I also agree. I think they're going second.
Yeah, I think they've got a
Yeah,
very strong squad.
I agree. I agree, actually. I would have liked to put them first, but there's another team which is going to kill me to put them first. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, no, I think they're second too. James, whatever you say, you're going to be wrong unless it's first.
Uh, I've put them as fifth.
Wow.
I think they've got a lot of experience. They've got a lot of good players, but I think there are four teams that I think have got better squads, better T20 setups, that will be slightly more explosive. I'm expecting some quite flat pitches, and I can see them pipping them to the post. I can see CSK losing the matches that are they win the toss, choose to bowl, 220 gets put on the board, and CSK only get 210. Those kind of things. I think there could be a few of them. So
Maybe. We'll see.
Big call,
Yeah.
because leaving Chennai out of the top four, they make it more often than not. They are
Yeah.
probably the most consistent team in the history of the IPL. So big call from James, but let us know your big calls in the comments below. Who do you think comes into their team? Do you agree with our 11s? Whose 11 do you agree with? Because we've all given three pretty different ones. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you haven't already, subscribe. You can also like if you've enjoyed. If you want to follow us further, then you can click the member button. It gives you lots of nice perks and things. So click that button if you want to support us even more than you already do. But thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to the next one.